All right, comparing the dirtiest and the cleanest driver. Funnily enough, I had this race earlier on, and I just thought that the first driver we're going to see here was pretty much the dirtiest I've ever driven against. Obviously, there's been some that just dive-bombed me, but this one has just been consistently dirty, being annoying and not leaving space. You'll see. And then we have another driver that was very clean, and we got into some extremely interesting battles. All right, driving down the start-finish straight, as we like to point out, and the race starts. First, we think we're going to battle this McLaren. I qualified in second, but then this guy comes in his GT3 and already gives us a little bit of a kiss when trying to drive past. We're going to stay in I was going to say colon, but that's not the right word. In a row of three. Into the second and third corner, he's already sliding quite a bit. There is a Ferrari sniffing on my butt again, but we are off to the Porsche. The McLaren up front makes a little mistake. Ferrari comes in and gives us a little bump. Not exactly great, but it seems like he just didn't get his brake point right. Sometimes that happens at the start of the race, right? You're getting into it, maybe took a quick break after qualifying, so not too bad so far. Then the Porsche bumps into the Ferrari, not leaving him any space. It's a bit of a story that he's going to continue here, and again, he doesn't want to leave space. But oh no, someone's coming from both sides, so he has to let someone through, right? You can see him trying to defend and going back and forth. He might also have some bad latency or be playing on controller. But yeah, you'll see again. I tried to overtake on the right, Ferrari takes to the right as well. Now he sees us both trying to overtake, and he goes back and forth, just not keeping a straight line. He ends up bumping out the Ferrari, and that gives me a little bit of an advantage. You can see I had the racing line, and he still tries to just go full send. He wouldn't leave space for anyone, even if he had to. And here we go. He fucking just spins me out. Ferrari had to also take an off-route because the Porsche just completely blocked out the entire street. Luckily, I managed to save that accident. He overtakes me though. I tried to do a bit of a switch around, but can't get him. He, of course, doesn't want to leave me space, so he drives right in front of me again. I think you're getting the story here. He is not a clean driver. We all go up Eau Rouge. I get it better than him, so I'm catching up pretty quickly. Gonna try to overtake here, and he drives right in front of us again, and we even bump into him a little bit. At this point, I'm getting kind of mad. You can see he just blocks me out. I guess it's a bit hard because that just happened really quickly. But he's just blocking me, not letting me pass anywhere. It's very difficult. And then he rams into the Ferrari again. He gets his apex fairly okay though. You know, I do wonder, his racing line is alright. Why do people who have some racing skill, I don't apparently, why do people who have some racing skill drive like that? Why can't he just leave space? Obviously he has some spatial awareness, otherwise he wouldn't be getting the track this well. And not that I'm driving like in a high league or anything, but it takes some hours to get the racing line and to stay sort of competitive. Obviously he's staying mainly competitive by just blocking everyone out. But why can't you just drive clean? Or if you don't want to drive clean, go play Wreckfest or something, you know, that's fine if you ram everyone. So we're gonna attempt another overtake, but of course that doesn't go through with Mr. I'm not gonna say it, but not cool. Different angle, you can see he just bumps me out into the grass. I've sort of learned to control these sort of situations by now. You can see he's bumping me back and forth. I'm like a bug staying on him. Yeah, and that's where I did a bit of a bump because he's gotten mad. Like, he's gotten me mad. I braked a little too late. Was on purpose, but I'm just trying to catch up with him, trying to find some way to overtake, even if it's a bit dirty at this point, because obviously he's not going to let me overtake cleanly. But it just doesn't happen. He keeps me behind. And again, like I said earlier on, he does have some skill. He has a good bit of pace, and the Porsche isn't the easiest car to control either, in my opinion. With the engine being in the back, it spins over quite often. I completely missed that brake point and go out. So I'll actually leave him the space to go in again before me, and I obviously don't want to cause an accident. So I'm far behind again, quite a bit behind now. So it's gonna take some time to make that room up again. Luckily, he isn't the cleanest driver, so it shouldn't take forever. Some cinematic angles here in the background. We can already see a bit of a tease of our next opponent, of our more interesting, more fun to drive against opponent. But back to the Porsche, trying to catch him. Ferrari just went out there. We don't know exactly what happened, but we take his place. So we're in second and third now. The Porsche being second, obviously. Still trying to catch up. Not a lot happening. We're just making progress bit by bit. But in the end, I think he broke his car, or maybe had to go for a lunch break, or had to go tell his mom that he was being a little word. So we'll see you again. Yeah, hopefully not. Obviously. So maybe we can get into our cleanest battle now. Obviously, it's so much more fun having like a proper clean battle. These dirty drivers, I don't know what they're getting from it. It's like cheaters in Battlefield and CS:GO and COD and so on. What do you cheat for? Is that really fun? Is it fun to just annoy other people? Probably like just sad little lives that make him annoying like that. McLaren's out, but that was a car we've overtaken earlier on anyway. So we're still in second place at this point since the Porsche left. Third place should be slowly catching up with us now. First place obviously just drove off while we were fighting the difficult Porsche that wasn't going to happen anymore. First place, it would have had to crash for me to catch up with him, but that's fine. I don't just race so I can win. I race for intense battles, and here we see our clean driving antagonist, which is funny because he starts with a not so clean entry into our little battles here. But I think he just missed his braking point. He's trying to catch up, and he got a bit over eager and slightly drove into us. But obviously he gives me back my place, doesn't try to block me out or anything. So fair enough, got a battle. Here he really goes for the gap, so I leave him some space to overtake. Now it's on me to keep up with him, trying to keep his line. Was a fair overtake. I'll give him that. I left the door open. He takes it. That's how racing goes. So, what did Michael say? It's just a motor race. It's motor racing, something like that. We're staying on him pretty well though. Got braked a little bit too late trying to overtake him, but he does the old switcheroo on us now. Just takes it back and sends off. He also had a bit of a better exit there, so he's gonna make some room while we try and keep up. Eau Rouge is always a good opportunity to catch up with your opponents, because if they mess it up, he took a bit of a shortcut there, but if they mess up Eau Rouge and you get it well, you're gonna have a lot more speed for all of this straight. So it's really gonna make up some time if you messed up something earlier on. He really messed up there. You might have seen it. He went out really far. So we are catching up to him, making some room again. We both take that corner. Okay, both a bit slow. Usually if you really take that corner nice, you're going to be sliding out. But we're going to attempt an overtake here. My M4 just has... We're pretty similar in power, as it seems. I had a bit of a draft, so I'm getting it, and he leaves me space for the corner. See, that's what makes him the much cleaner driver than earlier on. We're going to see it here again. I have the racing line. He accepts it and leaves me space. He breaks a little bit, so I can do the corner, and he'll come after me. Which is fair, you know. It was a half an hour race, so we have enough time to battle and try and overtake. It's more fun that way. It's not about just getting up front as fast as you can. It's about trying to brawl it out. Who's actually the better driver, right? We're gonna go down our beloved start-finish straight again. Sending it towards Rouge. Sim send it. Oh yeah. So beautiful skin on the M4 as well, representing the BMW colors as we should. Ripping our face. Not much happening here. We're just driving away from him. He's staying pretty close on us. You'll see here he is just on our tail, but not overdoing it. Not like trying to outbrake me on every corner just because. You know, a lot of drivers, we've seen that in my last video, they don't really take their own line, or they don't really try to brake perfectly if they're battling you. They're just trying to adapt your line and brake later, which is just often enough just going to cause accidents. Sometimes you'll get a gap and overtake, but often enough it's just they jump through and try to grab you through your gap. That sounds weird, but they try to pass you through a little gap, and in the end they'll get the worst angle, and that'll just keep them behind anyway. Here, because he tries to make a little attempt, but we are still quicker. That isn't really a corner, and you'll do much overtaking in. But fair enough, you can try. If you back out, if it gets too tight, that's just fine with me. Yeah, so a lot they just try to outbrake you, and that doesn't always work. If you can tell your opponent is always braking too early, that's a good strategy. But if he's driving as he should, and if he's braking where he needs to, then you're not going to be able to overtake him if you just brake a little later. You're just going to hit a wall or something. Our friend here takes Eau Rouge a little bit weird again. Maybe, if you're watching this, practice that Eau Rouge. It's a very important bit. But I do really appreciate your driving. You look a lot more stable, a lot more controlled than the Porsche did, and then a lot of opponents do. I'm talking like I'm fucking good again, even though I'm very average. So we'll see his POV here, trying to catch up. Very nice rear lights on that Aston, isn't it? It's a beautiful car. Maybe I should try it as well. I tried the Mustang as well today, besides the M4. And I must say I didn't really like it. From my feeling, at least with the stock aggressive setup from Competizione. Oh, he's going to attempt an overtake here. Does he get us? Does he get us? Oh, we're just coming back. But he is really quick. Oh, we're going to have a nice bit of side-to-side action. But you can see, both of us, we leave each other the space. So we can have a really long, side-by-side battle. These are extremely fun. They're very intense. You have to stay focused. You need to be aware of your surroundings. But it's if both drivers have a lot of respect, it's gonna be fun. So, we're gonna see a bit of a helicopter vision of our side to side. Still going. This isn't a replay. This is still us going side to side. He takes the racing line though, so we have to back off a little now. Return the favor that he granted us earlier on. Trying to catch up again, and I'm not gonna get him. Like I said, really hard to corner to overtake. You have to slow down to basically first gear and then send it out of there again. So you're not really gonna get it. Yeah, so the Mustang, it's
it's pretty fast in the straight lines. It also seems to brake very well, but from at least what I could tell, it understeers quite a bit, and it doesn't feel great in the corners. I would love to look at the spec sheet. It feels heavier than the M4. The M4 feels like a more nimble car in the corners. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of body roll there. The Mustang just it seems to draw you to the sides a little bit. Don't know if that's true though. I would have to look into it more. But it seems like a lot of players are really good in the Mustang, so there must be something about it. Oh, he makes a big mistake here. Gets pulled out, and we use that opportunity to overtake. That corner is a hard one. If you don't brake in time on that straight, you really have to hammer it at that. When you get to that 100 mark, hammer it, and then slowly let off trail brake into the first turn, and then you should be able to get it. But if you're just a bit unfocused, or if your tires are shot, or maybe if you have a full fuel tank, those parameters are a bit different. It gives us a little love tap here. Sure, it wasn't on purpose. Again, this sort of stuff happens. It is motor racing, right? You do want close battles, so a bit of bumping and touching happens. Assetto Corsa doesn't really punish you for it either, right? It'll give you a big punishment if you have a ton of crashes, but if you have a bump here and there, but otherwise a close proximity battle like this, your safety rating should generally still improve somewhat, like at least in the 80 to 90 range. We're going down the finish straight here. Our friend takes a bit of a cheeky line, which isn't entirely fair, but I think he didn't do it on purpose. He tried to overtake one last time. The game isn't going to count that though. I don't know how exactly it happened, but we ended up being second, and you can see the Aston Martin right behind us in third place. Very good battle, very fun. This is what I want to see, not whatever it was that the Porsche was doing. If you do this sort of thing, you have a lot more fun. It's you learn more. You learn being aware of your surroundings and so on. So this in my opinion is how it should go. Anyway, thank you for watching this race, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye.